Thanks for tuning into our Stocks to Watch series, where we bring you exciting, informative, and innovative stories from company executives globally. I'm Ashley Berry, and we're welcoming Kent Zehr, a registered professional engineer and independent consultant at Pacific Booker Minerals. It's a company that engages in the exploration of mineral properties in Canada. Pacific Booker Minerals is trading on the TSXV as BKM and on the OTC Pink as PBMLF. Kent, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Ashley. Glad to be here.
Absolutely. Let's start with the Pacific Booker Minerals mission. And of course, it's Morrison Gold-Copper Porphyry Project in British Columbia. What signs indicate that the project has a lot of potential here, and what really prompted Pacific Booker Minerals to acquire it?
The property is located on the shores of Morrison Lake, not very far from Lake Babine, a historic mining area in the province. Was formerly home to the Bell Copper Mine and the Grand Isle Copper Mine. So the property is long established, originally acquired from Noranda, who had done the early exploration, and has since been drilled twice by Pacific Booker the last time, and extensively explored. So one of the things that's not in doubt at all is the fact that the minerals are there, the metals are there. They have been extensively analyzed and modeled and drilled.
So the confidence here, you're talking about the fact that they are there. There is no doubt, obviously, in your mind. So that obviously should provide some reassurance to our viewers or those that are potentially considering investing in the company. I do understand that the project does have a feasibility study. Is it still relevant, or is there any new data here that it could suggest otherwise?
The feasibility study was done and completed by 2005, essentially. So as in the rest of the world, nothing stands still in time. And so there are various technological changes that have taken place in the mining business since that time that would make a certain amount of rework not only a requirement, but an opportunity. And just for example, the original mill was designed with semi-autogenous grinding mills, and very large, very much horsepower, very big electrical loads, and lots of wear. That technology can be largely replaced, and has been in many operations, with high-pressure grinding mills. Smaller, easier to operate, easier to maintain, do the same job, basically. So that's an example of the technological switch that's there. The mine was originally designed to be largely diesel powered. Well, today we would do it differently. We would do it largely electric power. And so we could green up the mine by reworking the feasibility study. And those typical things happen over 20 years of development in the field. We would change the mill flow sheet in certain regards to focus on capturing some more metallic gold, for example. Those are the kind of things that a modern mill would do. So yeah, we would definitely rework the feasibility study in some respects. On the other hand, the tailings storage facility was addressed after the initial feasibility study. Some questions were raised about acid rock drainage and so on. So those have been already incorporated into the plan. And there's various areas like that, but largely very, in the big picture, the feasibility study applies. The tonnage is correct. The life of the mine has been extended because of changes in metal values and stuff like that, but largely still holds up.
Yeah, and it sounds like a lot of technological advancements, obviously, that you're working on that you've already achieved. The company, though, has been having issues obtaining needed permits and actually sued the provincial government for its refusal. What can you tell us about this case and, any updates surrounding it and any breakthroughs with the LBN Nation?
The issue with the provincial government was that essentially they went uh, illegally declined to issue the certificate from the EAO office. I say illegally, and that was what the judge concluded as well, because there was no legal mechanism for the LBN to have a veto power at that time.
Mm.
Today they have a veto power.
Mm.
So the certificate has been declined again. We are attempting, without significant success thus far, to engage with the LBN again to determine what the real objections actually are. We're not sure that their people necessarily understand the opportunities represented by Pacific Booker. And by that, I mean, they are the local population. Their current unemployment rate is something like 60% the last time I looked. With any mining operation, there are very, very many what we used to call entry-level jobs, laborers, janitors, cleaners, you name it, and gradually building up to apprenticeship positions and operating positions and stuff like that. So in a very short period of time, we could employ a large number of the LBN people. We could provide them long-term, well-paid occupations going out for the next 30 or 35 years. In other words, a full life career, if you want. Mm-hmm. And we, as I say, are attempting to engage with the LBN to make sure that they fully appreciate what we are offering, with very limited success at this point.
Mm. Sorry to hear that, because you think about the opportunities and communities. It sounds like a win-win. So basically, what are the next steps, if you can at all expand on that?
We are continuing to pursue different aspects of the communication issue. Mm-hmm. We have attempted to engage with their newly hired mining coordinator, and we are also engaging with various people. We even have some LBN members who are shareholders of Pacific Booker and have been for many years. So it's a difficult position for us to understand, and it seems as though that the focus of the opposition may be a very small number of individuals, and we've been scratching our head trying to figure out just what we might have done to those individuals to cause them to be this way. And unfortunately, it may have nothing to do with Pacific Booker at all. In fact, it may be a historical issue that where we are lumbered with. Anyway, we're continuing on trying to provide them with ideas and opportunities, and we are proposing various things going forward to try and attract their interest. For example, one of the things we proposed is that they are dealing with a number of other mining companies that are exploring in their traditional land area. And those companies are currently getting, shall we say, good press with the LBN. We're saying, one of the things we suggested is maybe you want to do a deal with one of them and just buy us out. The metal is in the ground. The metal's not going to go away until such time as somebody mines it. So the opportunity does exist. The opportunity is there. If they don't want to deal with Pacific Booker, pick somebody you want to deal with, buy them out. So it's unfortunate that we get there because, frankly, Pacific Booker has done an awful lot of work on the property and on the development. And just to, if you can stand it, I can expand just a little bit on that. The Morrison project is already connected by a heavy haul road currently used for logging back to the provincial highway system. It is conveniently located with respect to the port facilities at Stewart, and there is currently no issue whatsoever with transporting concentrates from the mine site to Stewart, have them go anywhere in the world on a ship. So some of the infrastructure is very simple. The site is within 40 kilometers of an existing major BC hydro substation. So connecting it to the provincial power grid is not a particularly significant undertaking. When you consider that it's a mining opportunity in an area that's been mined previously, a lot of the infrastructure issues simply go away. And that's compared to, say, the Golden Triangle in BC, where people are talking hundreds of kilometers of road and hundreds of kilometers of power line and so on. So a significant difference there, and a significant difference in the ease of access to the port and so on. So really a very nice opportunity, and very, I shall say, an easier operation than many other properties would be. So it does lend itself, as I said, to the creation of lots of entry-level positions, lots of opportunity for local people to become employed and benefited and pensioned and all the rest of it over the life of the mine.
Well, we certainly wish you the best of luck in your journey ahead with that. As an independent consultant, Kent, based on your analysis, how healthy is the risk to reward ratio when it comes to investing in Pacific Booker Minerals? Do you see it as a stock to watch, and what do you tell others about it?
It's a stock to watch, definitely, because the current value is so low. It's been beaten down by the events of the past.
Sure.
I would still have to say, though, that because of the opposition existing with the LBN, that it's at best speculative. It's not a blue chip. It's not a guaranteed win. The possibility, there's a number of possibilities that see it winning, but it's speculative at this point.
And what really gets you excited about the company and your mission forward?
What really works for me is just how nice a little mine site it could be. It's just to give you an example, the area has already been logged. We're not talking about virgin country or anything like that. Sure. It's been logged, it's been reforested in part, but taking the rest of the old growth timber off of it would be very simple, and it's not spectacular country. It's nice mountains. It is a nice lake, but it's just one of thousands that BC has. So from that regard, there was some objections raised in the early 2000s by the LBN about how the mine site was organized and so on. And those objections could be easily accommodated, and were easily accommodated in most part. I think a slightly better job could have been done of it, but that's kind of splitting the hairs. In any event, as I see it today, it's a very straightforward proposition, given the certificates, given the blessing of the LBN. very straightforward proposition to develop the mine site, build the mine, begin mining. As far as the output goes, copper is always in demand, gold is always in demand. There's a little bit of moly there, molybdenum.
Mhm.
It would be, kind of pocket change, but it's something that comes for free, basically. A little bit of transportation costs. And in the time the assays were originally done, silver values were very, very low.
Mm-hmm.
So they did not include silver in the inventory of the mine, but the silver does exist and would be recovered today. So there's an enhancement of the value, if you like, over time that all of the intervening years since 2005 or 6 have actually just contributed to the value of the mine. They haven't taken anything away from it. The capital cost to develop it would be higher, of course, but by the same token, we would extend the life of the mine given the metal prices, so we'd have a longer period to write it off. I think that with some careful equipment selection, you'd be in business for the entire life of the mine and the closure with the same equipment all the way through. So it's very difficult to beat as simple an opportunity as that.
Yeah, I can really appreciate the insight and, the transparency here, and, really taking the bull by the horns and, trying to show the positive. I think it's fantastic. And I think that, you moving forward as an independent consultant at Pacific Booker Minerals is very important because you have a rich, long history with them. So thank you so much for your time, for joining us here on Stocks to Watch.
Thank you for your attention, and thank you for the opportunity to